We'll be going live in 1 minute, folks. We'll be starting on time in 1 minute. We'll be going live in 1 minute, folks. We'll be starting on time in 1 minute. We're going live in 1 minute, folks. We'll be starting on time in 1 minute. We're going live in 1 minute, folks. We'll be starting on time in 1 minute. In 1 minute, folks. We'll be starting on time in 1 minute. In 1 minute, folks. We'll be starting on time in 1 minute. Hey, 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 welcome everybody out there. Just want to be able to say hello and good afternoon wherever you're hailing from. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm sure there's people that are out there from everywhere. So, again, just want to make sure we get ourselves started here. I'm going to share my screen for you so that way we're all on the same page and we can get the ball rolling, okay? Let's get it started. Welcome everybody out there. Just want to be able to say hello and good afternoon wherever you're headed. I got a slight echo here. 1 second. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. There we go. Awesome. So just sharing my screen with you right now. And so for those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Terrence Michael Spencer. I am a founder and president of Expandemonium, process-driven coach and capital strategist with over 25 years of leadership experience spanning corporate and private education. I bring a practical, when I say practical, I mean very practical, results-driven approach to business growth and financial positioning. I realize that the more simple you keep things, the better they are able to be digested. And of course, that's really what business funding, business capital, the strategies surrounding it, and really is all about. So many people think it's very difficult, but in fact, it really is not. So I like to keep things very simple. Let's move forward here. Currently, I serve as the presenter for SCORE as well. I'm also a nonprofit. Sorry, it's a nonprofit organization supported by the SBA, which most of you know is a Small Business Administration, as well as Southern California Edison's EDGE program, which is their business division. Both organizations equip entrepreneurs with tools and insight needed to thrive and not just survive in their business. And super encouraged and proud to be a part of those organizations and speak for them. Beyond my professional work, though, I am a devoted husband to my beautiful Egyptian queen, which is my wife, and she is amazing. And I'm also a proud father of four sons as well. So I have a testosterone driven home. I wish I had, more estrogen in there besides my wife, but definitely, I'm surrounded by boys. And so, more importantly, I believe that faith and purpose guide the journey. And that's for all of us, guys. It guides us often in unexpected, but meaningful ways. And so, I know that that has been the story of my life, and I know that for sure it's not just me. From the many, many thousands of people I've had the opportunity to talk to and sit down and have meetings with, I realize that I'm not in a box of my own, that many, many people believe the same thing, that faith and purpose really, really guide the journey because there are so many things that we cannot control. However, the things that we can control, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to do that. We want to live as if it's our last day. And so, without any further ado, guys, I'm going to jump off my soapbox. I want to be able to give you as much value as possible for the time that we have. So let's proceed here and move forward. I'm going to talk to you about three gold nuggets here. So here's three gold nuggets that I really, really want you guys to really think about, okay? The meeting after the meeting is the most important meeting. I love that phrase because it means so much to my life. Man, I can't even tell you the amount of meetings that I've had the opportunity to be a part of where it wasn't even really about that meeting, but it was about maybe the people that I've met after that meeting. It was the person who changed the entire trajectory of the way I saw business after that meeting. It was the sit down, kneecap to kneecap talks that were not presented, but just a heartfelt conversation, or maybe some advice that I got to really take my business to the next level, or even just to be a better person, right? Be better more for myself, right? Than to be able to capitalize on being a great business person. And so again, for you guys, I just want to help you guys to see that as well, that it's the meeting after the meeting, and that really is the most important meeting. Okay. Number two, release fear. False evidence appearing real, right? That's really what it's about. False evidence appearing real is really what fear is, okay? Embrace faith instead. Many people have that acronym for fear, but very little people have an acronym for faith. And so I decided to put that task on my own, and that is simply freedom after inner thoughts halt. And we talk about halt. Halt is simply to stop. We have so many negative feelings that we can experience throughout the day, right? And that really do not lend to us being a better person, being a better businessman or woman, but instead it keeps us trapped, right? And so I want you to operate in faith because here is what happens when you operate in faith. Don't fake it till you make it. I want you to faith it till you make it, which is very different. Really get in connection with your purpose, right? Because purpose fills your cup, wakes you up early, and stirs your soul. And I can tell you right now, when you've experienced that, it's a feeling like no other. So I bestow that upon you as well, guys. So hopefully those three golden nuggets will really help set a precedence for what we're getting ready to jump into today. And hope you enjoy and you really take a lot of value from what you hear. And then after the value that you experience, that you're able to take action because it's really all about action at the end of the day, right? So here we go. Just a quick recap of last week. Last week we talked about the five roadblocks to funding. Okay, the five roadblocks to funding are consumer credit, business structure, business credit, banking relationships, and capital strategy. Ironically, is this. Those are actually the catalyst to your capital, but they serve as roadblocks when you don't have them dialed in the way they need to be, which is why today's presentation is so pivotal for you, which is why it is really a game changer for you if you take the notes that you need to take. I was always told that the dullest pencil is sharper than the sharpest mind. So, yes, you are going to get a copy of this presentation. Yes, you will be able to see this on a recorded webinar at some point or another. It is a evergreen webinar, and so you'll be able to see it as well. However, I also want you to be able to think about something as you are getting ready to go into understanding this information and have this information bestowed upon you. It is incumbent upon you that you don't just take in the information. We live in the information era. I think we are bombarded by information. So it's not about the information that you're going to receive. It's about the implementation of the information that you're going to be receiving right now. So hopefully, as we move forward here, you will, at the very end of this presentation, you will overcome what is your boundaries, right? And you will push past that limit and push past that and be able to make decisions to really take your business to the next trajectory. Today's presentation is what is a fundable business and why does it matter? So important, guys. What is a fundable business, right? Most people can't tell me what a fundable business is. Many people who do tell me what a fundable business is, they really leave out a significant portion of what a truly fundable business is. And even more importantly, of why it's important. Why does it even matter? Okay, we're going to talk about that. Let's jump into it. Okay. A fundable business aligns its credit. When I say credit, I'm talking about personal and business. Okay. So a fundable business aligns its credit, its structure, its banking relationships, and capital strategy with bank standards, not its own. And I have to say, not its own, because I have had a plethora of conversations and worked with a plethora of clients that have structured things, have banking relationships, or not have banking relationships, have these different strategies that they're working out, and their credit, and all of it is not aligned to bank standards. Rather, it's aligned to what they think is best. And that is really not the way to get funding to build your business. You don't want to do it your way. You want to do it the right way. And I'm going to talk about that right now. It matters because according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay, check this out. The number one undisputed heavyweight champion of the USA for small business owners is a lack of capital, cash flow, and funding. And may I say, sustainable capital, okay, cash flow and funding. That really is the number one reason for business failure. And it really is undisputed, guys. It's the world champion, okay, because it has not changed yet. Most businesses go out of business because they either run out of money, they don't know how to get money, or they just don't know how to sustain the money that they have. Okay. So, even more so, why this presentation is so important for you, because you're going to get some key indicators here of what it takes for you to align yourself with getting the maximum amount of funding as possible for your business. Okay. A fundable business aligns its credit with bank standards, right? Complete control over the five factors. And what are the five factors? The five factors, as I went through last week, right? I talked about the roadblocks. And one of the things I talked about was the five factors: payment history, utilization, account age, credit mix, and inquiries. That is the most important aspects, okay, of your journey when it comes to the credit portion of it. If you don't have these five factors put together, it is going to be absolutely, I mean, I don't like to say impossible, because anything is possible, but it is going to be very difficult. The road to you getting funding will be very difficult if you do not have these five factors on track. So you need to have them dialed in, guys. Okay. Also, number two, comparative credit to match the business funding that you desire. Okay. So what do I mean by comparative credit? So many people, they come to me and they say, hey, Terrence, I want to get 50, 100,000, 150,000, $200,000 of business funding. And they say, well, how do I need to be in position in order to capitalize on getting that much funding? And one of the things that I take a look at is, what is currently, right? My team and I, we look at what is currently showing up on your profile. And many times, when it comes to business capital, banks are looking at comparable credit. They're looking at what is it that you have on the personal side that it makes sense in order to allow you to borrow on the business side. And here's what I mean by that. Some people come to me or they come to, our organization or our program and they say, "Hey, we're looking to get, a $25,000 credit card or a $30,000 credit card." But when you look at their profile only shows that the most that they ever have on a personal credit card is 5,000. So I want you to think about it from this standpoint. When you look at wanting to get a high limit business credit card, banks are going to look at first, what is reasonably a limit that you can handle? That is the first thing they look at. What is the reasonable amount that you can actually handle? Okay. And if you show that you can only handle a $5,000 personal credit card, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a 25, 30, or $40,000 credit card. I want you to think about it from that perspective. And so again, lenders and banks, they look for comparable credit in order to give you more credit. So here's kind of the rule of thumb when it comes to business credit cards. At least that's definitely one of the products that are the most popular products that are out there right now. Why? Because you can get them for 0%. And on top of that, you can get them for 0% for terms as long as 12 months, 18 months. There's even a few out there that are doing 21 months, okay, of 0% interest. And so, again, with that being said, banks typically are going to lend 70 to 200% of your highest personal limit. Okay. So again, be mindful, think about that. So that's one of the things that needs to be in order is having that comparable credit before you even go into applying for business credit. Also, number three, last but certainly not least, are an organic profile versus an inflated profile. What do I mean by that? There's a lot of people who have inflated profiles, and an inflated profile is simply this. You may have an organic profile of maybe, let's use the $5,000 credit card, for example, right? You have a $5,000 personal credit card that is primary to you, it is in your name. But you also have a $20,000 or $25,000 credit card, but that is simply an authorized user account. Okay. It doesn't belong to you personally. It is not what you would call a primary account. Okay. So again, you want to work on bolstering, building up, and look at it as like lifting weights, right? You want to build up your personal credit profile organically, filled with primary accounts. And then just like we do with weightlifting, you want to use supplements, right? A supplemental product would be an authorized user account. But what ends up happening is you see people out there and they are getting authorized user accounts or builder credit accounts as their primary accounts versus those being their organic accounts and they're just adding to it as a supplement. Banks are very smart, okay? They understand when a product that you perceive is a primary account, they look at that as a secondary account. They see it, okay? They understand the difference between the two. They're not dumb. Okay. So again, we want to make sure that we have an organic profile versus an inflated profile on our credit. Okay, let's just be mindful of that. That way we can capitalize on getting the highest limits possible when it's time to actually be in position to garner ourselves business capital. A fundable business aligns its structure, okay, with bank standards. So what do banks look for when it comes to structure? They're looking at your business type, address, and phone numbers look like a credible business versus a makeshift business. So what do I mean by a makeshift business? Making sure that you have the right filing entity. Okay, that's a pretty important point there, guys. Making sure that you have the right filing entity. And what do I mean by filing entity? That means that you have either an LLC, which is a limited liability company, an S corp, or sorry, a C corporation, right? You want to have one of those two. Some people think that an S corporation is a filing entity when in fact it is not. It's a tax election. Okay. An S corp is a tax election. It's what you can, it's, for instance, I have an LLC, Expandemonium. Let's look at this business, Expandemonium LLC. This business, I also file as an S corporation when tax season comes. I don't file as an LLC. So again, it's an tax election. It is not a filing entity. On top of that, business address. Now, you want to make sure that you have a solid virtual office address, which is simply an address that has a suite number attached to it. And then it's an actual physical building that you can walk in and out of. Okay. That's what a virtual office address is. Please avoid P.O. boxes at all costs. Okay. Banks are again staying away from those who say my physical operating business. And you give them their address and it's a P.O. box. They don't want to see that. Okay. And also phone numbers, guys. So many people I talk to ask what is their business phone number and they give me their personal number. Make sure that you separate everything, guys, your personal with your personal and your business with your business. In fact, you want to separate that so much so that I would say your phone number needs to be it is recommended that your phone number be a toll-free number. 800-888-866-877. You choose it. But again, make sure that it's professional. Make sure that it's credible. Give yourself a toll-free number. And your cell phone number, you can use it, but it should be used as a secondary number, not as your primary business number. Okay. Number two, the business domain, email, and website are professional looking. Okay. Now, professional looking is very different than a robust website. Okay. I don't want you to think in any moment right now that I'm thinking about you buying a $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 website. No, that is not what I'm talking about. But it does need to be an organized, well organized website, meaning that it's a website that actually has your business in it. It has the services that you offer, the products that you offer, as well as your contact information on that website. Okay. And what contact information needs to be on your website? It needs to be your business phone number, your business email. Okay. And also your address, your business address, right? We just talked about that. Okay. So making sure that all of those things are in place. Number three, your NAICS code. Make sure that your NAICS code matches what you actually do and the industry that you're actually in. People have gotten into a lot of trouble lately over the last year, year and a half, and I've seen it happen where they are actually getting denied because their business is not verifiable. The business is not matching what they say the business is involved in. So if you're saying, yes, I have a coaching business, but you're selling products, those two don't match, right? So the bank is looking at that as you're being deceitful. You're not being honest. You're not being transparent with who you really are and what your business is truly about. So make sure you understand that the NAICS code, which actually stands for the North American Industry Classification System, make sure that it is accurate and that it's accurately says what you do and what your business is all about, guys. Okay. You don't want to play around with the bank like that and put them in even in a position, right, where they may have to take action, further than just denying you. Okay. Make sure that you're not lying or you're not being deceitful, but that you're putting down what you really do and what your business is really all about. Okay. Number four, you actually have a DUNS number, right? With the gold standard of business credit bureaus. So a DUNS number comes from Dun and Bradstreet. Dun and Bradstreet is really like the gold standard of the business credit bureaus. Again, you have three, just like you have on the personal side, you have three on the business side. You have Business Equifax, you got Business Experian, and you also have Dun and Bradstreet. I say Dun and Bradstreet is the gold standard because really they're the only ones that you actually have to apply to get an actual to get a BIN, right? A business identification number. And so with Business Equifax and Business Experian, you organically you'll by default get a BIN number from them once you actually apply to a vendor and start making payments. And that payment experience that trade line reports to the business credit bureaus. That will happen organically and by default with Business Experian and Business Equifax. However, it doesn't happen like that with Dun& Bradstreet. If you want to build business credit with Dun& Bradstreet, you have to be very purposeful and very intentional about how you do that, right? You have to make sure that you're applying for the right trade lines that report to Dun& Bradstreet. And Dun& Bradstreet knows that, which is why you actually get a Dunn's number. And it takes about 5 minutes, guys. That's it. It's free. It takes about 5 minutes to get a Dunn's number. The beautiful part is once you have one and you are establishing business credit, you'll be in a position where you'll be able to report. Should I say that your those trade lines will report to Dun& Bradstreet? Okay, and trust me, lenders will check for your Dunn's number. They will look to see, especially if you're going for business term loans or business lines of credit, and those limits may be at a higher level. They're going to want to see, are you a well-rounded business? Do you have a Dunn's number? Because that really is pretty rudimentary, especially if you're looking to get capital, from a lender or a bank. Okay. Number five, it's easy to find your business on social media. They want to make sure that that structure is in place too. They look on Google that your business is listed there. That if they look on, Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or any of the popular social media outlets out there, they want to be able to find your business, and it shouldn't be hard to find your business. So again, make sure that you're advertising your business, or make sure that your business just has something set up when it comes to Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever. Make sure that you are in these places. We are in the social media era at this time. So you want to make sure that if a bank is considering giving you a pretty good limit on a product that you really want, that they can find you and that you're not the best kept secret. Okay, don't be that company, right? Number six, you have a business license. A business license really does solidify legitimacy for your business. Most people think offhand that a business license is very difficult to get, when in fact it's actually one of the easiest processes that you can do. And so again, depending upon your city, your state, it can take anywhere between the same day all the way up to a couple weeks in order to get that business license. But the process is typically, from what I've seen, the process is typically the same. They want to see your articles of organization if you have an LLC, or your certificate of incorporation if you are incorporated, and they want to see your EIN number with your ID. That's pretty much, what most business licenses programs want to see, and it's done through your city typically. Sometimes they're done through the county, but the state overall honors your business license. And so, for instance, I can give you an example about myself. I've had business licenses in other cities before, but my current city right now where my business is located is in Seal Beach, California. And I went down to the local city hall, down to the Seal Beach City Hall. I was able to fill out the application online. They wanted me to submit my articles of organization as well as my EIN form, which is the CP575. Turn those in. They reviewed it. They actually sent me an approval. I paid the fee. A week later, I got my license via email. That simple, guys. Yep, that simple. So again, it takes you a long way though. Having a business license, man, it really puts you in a category of your own once you have that. And it's pretty easy to get, guys. So again, make sure you're jumping on top of that. All information is congruent. That is last but certainly not least whatsoever. That's why I put it in caps lock. You want to make sure that all of your information is congruent, guys. Now, what do I mean by that? That means that everything I just mentioned above, the information matches. What I see people do most often, which is, oh my God, it drives me nuts, is they'll have a different address on their articles of organization. They'll have a different address on their CP575, which is your EIN form. They even have a different address sometimes in their bank account, right, guys? So you want to make sure that all addresses match across the board. You want to make sure that your business phone number matches across the board. You want to make sure that your business name, that may sound very common sense, but I can tell you right now, after seeing hundreds, maybe even thousands at this point of applications, it is not congruent, guys. Many people have mistakes here or there, on their business name. They're putting down the wrong address and then wondering why they get denied when they fill out an application. And that is simply because the bank cannot verify you. You do not look legitimate. So making sure that everything is congruent across the board. Okay. A fundable business aligns its business credit with bank standards. So what does that mean? That means utilizing the correct trade lines that actually report. Do you guys, let me kind of give you a good snippet here. Did you guys know that over 80%, which is the actual number, over 80% of trade lines, should I say vendor accounts and suppliers do not report to the business credit bureaus. It's pretty shocking, right? So I know a lot of people in here have thought about, I want to build business credit. I need business credit. I've heard that a lot through individuals. And when I finally look at maybe some of their profile of what they have so far or what they're trying to get, and I'll say, man, many of those items don't even report to the business credit profile, meaning that you want to make sure that you pick ones that are actually going to reward your efforts, right? It would suck. Let's just be honest about it, right? It sucks, right? To be able to get a trade line, have a trade line that you are investing in every single month you make the payment just to realize 6 months down the road that they haven't even been reporting it. Oh, that's discouraging. You don't want to be in that position, okay? So make sure you pick the correct trade lines that actually report. Number two, utilizing the correct trade lines that align with your business, okay? That should be again common sense though, right? But again, I never, ever, ever look at common sense for one person and even for myself to be common sense for someone else. But a bank or a lender, if they're looking at your your business credit as an actual as an actual piece of you getting approved for your product, and they see that you have trade lines that don't align with what you do, you have a construction business, but you have a trade line that does not match. Okay, it does not help you at all with your construction business. Banks are going to look at that and go, why do they have this trade line here? It doesn't even lend towards what they actually do for a living to make money. And so again, you want to make sure that when you get a trade line that it actually matches and the products or services that you purchase from that trade line that it actually benefits your business. Okay. So be thinking about that, guys. Number three, strategically built out over time. So many people think that we live in a microwave society where you could just purchase something and boom, you'll get the service right away, or you get the product right away. It doesn't work that way when it comes to building business credit. Business credit is a process. It is a long-term financial strategy to get the highest limits on business products that you possibly can. And so that is one of the discouraging pieces for a lot of people, right? Is that they may say, man, I want to get business credit now. But here's the interesting part. How long does it take you to build out your personal credit? I hope that hit home. I want to say it one more time. How long will it take you to build out your personal credit? I know that for a lot of people, they've put in a lot of work, including myself, have put in a lot of work to get their personal credit at a place where it is pristine, where it stands alone, where it shows credibility, it shows credit worthiness. It has taken some people 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to build out their personal credit to get it to a place where they are proud of it and right. They're willing to they've been willing to work hard at it to get to a place where they can really apply for a lot of different products without getting denied because they have built out their personal credit so much. So in the same way, guys, I don't want you to think that business credit is not the same way. Business credit is exactly the same. You have to build it out. Okay, just like you build out your personal credit. And once you build it out, you're going to really be on a league. You're going to be in a league of your own because not very many business owners have built out a robust business credit profile. And not very many business owners have experienced the benefits of what happens when you have a robust business credit profile. You're able to purchase equipment. You're able to get equipment financing. You're able to get cars through your business name, through your business credit profile. You are able to even lease buildings and get better terms and better rates and better limits. I mean, there is so many benefits to having pristine business credit that, again, most business owners really don't have it, so they haven't taken advantage of it. So they don't really know the true benefit of having business credit. I'm telling you right now, it is one of the most amazing processes to complete because it opens up doors that many business owners really never experience. Okay. So hone in on that. Strategically built out over time is what I just said. And last but certainly not least, always on time, guys. Always pay your trade lines on time. Unlike your personal side has 30, 60, 90 days late. On the business side, they give you DBT. Do you guys know what DBT is? DBT is days beyond terms. Oh man. So what does that mean? That means that if you are 1 day late, that means you are one DBT. You are 1 day beyond terms. And so, wow, there's no such thing as a 30-day late. You get a DBT. So always be on time, guys. And I like to tell people this, if you have bad habits on the personal side, don't start building your business credit because you're only going to take those bad habits that you have existing, right, with the personal side. You're going to bring them over to the business credit side. So you don't want to have subpar personal credit and subpar business credit. You want to have both of them be good, right? So make sure that you do it the right way and make sure that, again, you pay your bills on time. You strategically build it out over time as well. Okay. A fundable business aligns its relationships with bank standards. Okay. So, how do you align your relationships with bank standards? You do business with your bank. There are so many people that I talk to that they don't have a credit card with their bank. They don't have a business credit card. They don't have a business term loan. They don't have a business line of credit. They don't even have business products outside of a business checking account with their own bank. Okay. So do business with your bank, guys. Okay. A fundable business, again, aligns its relationships with bank standards, right? But the first thing you got to do is do business with your bank, right? Chase is one of my favorite lenders to do business with. And I can tell you right now, having Chase as a partner is awesome because they have great products. But if you have Chase, guess what? You have access to a lot of the same products that I have. So think about it that way, right? You want to make sure you're utilizing who you're with right now currently, right? Number two, be transparent. Um, Again, this is about aligning your relationship with bank standards. But banks also want transparency, right? Just like you want transparency. You want transparency from me as I'm talking to you about how to make your business fundable. I'm being transparent with you. I'm not holding back. I'm not sandbagging different things that need to be in place for you to have a successful business. I'm not holding anything back. I'm transparent with you. The bank wants you to be transparent with them. So please be transparent with your bank when it comes to your financial picture, when it comes to your current status. Because here's one thing that is true. Your bank sees already what's going on through your transactions in your bank. I mean, through your transactions with your business when you're banking with them. They can see what's going in, they can see what's coming out, they can see if you're having struggles, maybe your challenges already in your business. They can also see when you're starting to upshift, right? When you're starting on an upward trajectory, on your business as well. They're able to see, hey, this is a good way for us to be able to partner alongside of you and help you grow your business even more, help you scale your business. So make sure, guys, that you're transparent because they already see what's going on anyway. Okay. Number three, what bureau does your bank pull from? Many people are not even aware of that whatsoever. I would say the majority of people that I speak with are not aware of what even bureau their bank pulls from, right? Do they pull from Experian? Do they pull from Equifax? Do they pull from TransUnion? And I'm talking on the personal side. What bureau do they pull from? It's important to know that, right? Because you have to know as well that when you are starting to get any type of capital for your business, that you know how to really strategically how you strategically place different products with different bureaus. Okay. And you need to be very cognizant of that. So keep that in place, keep that in mind. Okay. Number four, what products do they specialize in that complements your business? This is a key one, right? There are several banks out there, and I can tell you right now, I have to say this to people because they have to understand this from a very broad scope, and it's really important to understand. Okay, one size does not fit all. Okay. Every bank is not the same, guys. There are products that may be really great with one bank and it could be very poor with the next bank. Okay. So you got to figure out what products do they specialize in that complements your business. If you're with a bank that has great 0% interest business credit cards and they have maybe subpar, maybe okay, kind of average business term loans, but you maybe need really good business term loans for what stage your business is in. That bank may not be the right bank for you, right? You have to know that there are other banks out there that may have a better product for you, okay, when it comes to business term loans. So know what products that current banks that you may have or a bank that you have, what product do they have that complements my business? Because you need to make sure that you're garnering, right? Those different products and garnering those different relationships if your bank does not cover all. Okay. So, number five, do you have a designated business relationship manager? As we would say, a BRM. Do you have a business relationship manager at the primary bank that you have or in all of the banks that you have if you're smart, right? Because those business relationship managers will be the key to you building a really strong relationship with that bank. They're going to have all eyes on your business. They're going to be able to advocate on your behalf when it comes to applying for different products. So you really want to have a designated business relationship manager, at your bank that you can depend on because it's typically that relationship manager that's really going to guide the process for you and help you with approvals when it comes to different limits and different rates and different terms of a particular product that you really need. So that is really the key. Right. And so have these relationship guys, okay? A fundable business aligns relationships with bank standards. Okay. Last but certainly not least, a fundable business aligns its capital strategy with bank standards. Aligns its capital strategy. What do I mean by that? What are the important data points, okay, to abide by? What are the important data points, such as how many inquiries does this particular bank allow when it comes to applying for a product? Because I can tell you right now, all banks are different. Even Chase, if you look at Chase, Chase has what you would call a 524 rule. Most people don't understand the 524 rule or what it means to them, right? 524 rule just simply means having five new accounts, okay, that you've applied for, five new and active accounts within a 24-month period. That's what Chase looks at. Do you have more than that? If you have more than that, that means you have violated their 524 rule, which means if you go and apply for a product through Chase and you already have five new products within a 24-month period, you are going to get denied because that is their policy. That is why most people go through Chase first, right? In order to get any type of products that they really deem important for their business, rather than, of course, coming to Chase last because Chase has that 524 rule. You want to know what are the data points that are important for every particular bank that you may be doing business with or that potentially you want to do business with. What data points are important? Some banks want to see an account age of at least 4 years. Other banks, no, 6 years. Other banks, 3 years, right? In order to look at credibility within your business. Okay. And say vice versa. Some banks may be okay with you having a late payment as long as it's longer than 2 years, right? Some banks will say, no, I don't care if it's 5 years old. You are not allowed to have any type of late payments on your on your personal credit profile until it actually gets dropped off of your account or it gets deleted, guys, period. Bottom line. So every bank has different data points that they abide by. Really, really know your bank's rules when it comes to that. Next, fintech, in-person, bank, credit union, community bank. What do I mean by that? Strategy. There are strategies where you have fintech lenders. Fintech lenders are strictly is short for finance technology. So a fintech lender, that means that you are going to be applying for a particular product online. Okay, that's basically what it means. You're going to be applying for a particular product online. You do not have any type of face-to-face with any underwriter or relationship manager. You are simply just applying through a computer, and the computer will dictate through artificial intelligence. It will dictate if you qualify for that particular product or not. Our fintechs, there is a place for fintechs. That's why we talk about it being a capital strategy, because again, there is a place for fintech lenders. There are certain products that it will be best going through a fintech lender versus going through an actual person. Then you have in person. That means simply into a branch, right? Walking into a branch and applying for that particular product. I can tell you right now, there are certain products that you will not be able to get approved for unless you walk into the bank and actually talk to a relationship manager. It's the only way that you will be able to get approval for that particular product. So knowing that, which products can I get that I don't need to walk into a bank or that I actually need to walk into a bank to get? That's something that, again, capital strategy that you need to be cognizant of. Um, are you applying through a bank? Are you applying through a credit union? Are you applying through a community bank? There are different types of lenders. Not all lenders are created equal. They're not the same. It's not one size fits all. There are benefits to getting certain products through a tier one bank, such as a Chase, a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America, Citibank. Those are your big box banks, and they have great products. But again, it has its place, right? Or are you going to be getting some lending opportunities from credit unions? Credit unions are great because they are not governed the same as a big bank, a tier one bank, a credit union. They do a lot more things in-house when it comes to credit unions. They also have, and in my opinion, and I'm sure that there are others out there that may agree with me, some may not, but I think most will, is that credit unions do a great job of establishing one-on-one relationships with their clients. And because of that, they're actually able to issue you on approvals higher limits, on some of your business products. They actually have sometimes a great variety of different products that they specialize in, depending upon what credit union you're going through, when it comes to really catering to small businesses. And so I love credit unions. They are great. Also, community banks, also known as regional banks. There's a lot of community banks even in my city, and you probably don't know this, but there's maybe a lot of community banks in your city as well. You just maybe pass by them every day and not even realize it. But again, there are community banks everywhere, and those community banks specialize sometimes in only serving the community, so they may only offer personal products, but there are also some regional banks and community banks out there that actually lend towards small business owners, right? And small businesses in the community as well. So you have to be able to look into what are those community banks that specialize in supporting small businesses in the community. Typically, when you're dealing with a community bank, you're dealing with relationship. I mean, when I say relationship, strong relationship driven banks, because again, they're a regional bank. They are specifically serving the community. They're specifically serving that area. So they're really big on relationships. So I would say make sure you know who you're applying with and what type of products they have. How many institutions do you have a relationship with? Um, you want to you want to practice diversity when it comes to your business accounts, right? Great capital strategy is making sure that you not just put all of your eggs in one basket. It's amazing because we always talk about that in normal life, right? Dealing with normal situations. It's, hey, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But it's interesting when it comes to business, what I see from most business owners is they do that. They put all of their eggs in one basket. I say it is better to put to take 10,000 and go put it in five different banks than to take 10,000 and put it into one. Why is that? Because you can have a relationship with five different banks that allow you to get products or apply for products and even more impressively, get approved for those products, right? And then you'll have a plethora of products versus being locked into one bank that only has a select amount of products. So again, diversity is really, really going to be the key to really maximizing your funding potential when it comes to your, getting capital for your business. Do you look desperate or in control? That's a big one, right? How do you look desperate and how do you look in control? A lot of this comes through inquiries, right? Which actually goes into point number five as well, right? Soft pull versus hard pull. But I will combine. I should have combined these two. I'll talk about both together right now. Okay. So, do you look desperate or in control? When I say desperate, are you applying for too much credit too soon and not in the right order? That's really the only way that happens is when you apply out of order, which most people do. They don't have the expertise to understand how to garner business capital in the right way. And so if you're not doing it the right way, the bank looks at you as desperate. They're looking at you and they're saying, wow, you are applying for a lot of business products in a very short amount of time. Is there something going on? Is your business in financial trouble? Is there something that we need to be aware of that we're not aware of? And so it raises red flags. You look desperate when you're applying for too much credit too soon, when you're not doing it in the right way. Or do you look in control, right? Are you balanced? Do you have spacing between your applications? You look like a person who is strategic, right? You're making sure you align your ducks in a row and you're doing things the right way, and you're not looking like somebody who needs financing right now. I always used to say, typically when somebody comes to me and they're in a rush to get money, that means they're in trouble. It's the way it goes. That 90% of the time, typically when a person talks to me about they need capital or they need money for their business right now, it's because they're in trouble. It's not because, hey, I want to take advantage of this great opportunity and I need some business funding. That's typically not the way it works. It's the other way around has been my experience. Okay. So again, are you desperate or in control? And just really quickly, when I talk about soft pull versus hard pull, you want to make sure you're strategically making sure that when you are garnering capital for your business, that you take advantage of as many soft pull pre-qualification, should I say pre-approval. Those are what you would call your pre-approval offers. You want to take advantage of as many business pre-approval offers as you possibly can, if it is the right product for your business. Why? Because it's going to result in a soft pull before it results in any hard pull. And typically, when you are looking at a soft pull, you get a chance to see the limit before you accept it, right? Understand that if you accept an offer after it's been a soft pull, then you will be issued a hard pull. Okay. So keep that in mind. But it's important for you to strategically place pre-approval applications, at really at the forefront of you applying for business capital, because it's always great to apply freely without being hit, right, with an inquiry. Because again, we already know that there are many banks out there that are very inquiry sensitive. And so if they're inquiry sensitive and it looks like you've been applying for all of these, business products, it's not going to look good if you go apply with them and they've seen you've already done three beforehand in the last 24 hours. Okay, let's just say per se. It just doesn't look good. Okay. And last but certainly not least, right product at the right time. This is where most people get it wrong. Their capital strategy comes to a halt right here at number six. Okay. Now, these other areas are super important, but here's what I have seen as of late. So I'm talking about anecdotal experience, right? Here's what I've seen as of late. Many people are applying for the right product, but at the wrong time, or they're applying for the wrong product at the wrong time, or they're applying for the wrong product, but at the right time. So very rarely are they applying for the right product at the right time. So it's really those four quadrants, as I just introduced to you right there. You really want to have the quadrant that gets you the right product at the right time. Okay. If those other three take place, it's going to limit the amount of funding you can possibly get for your business, or it's going to hurt your business, right? So you want to make sure you're doing things the right way. Okay. I want to stretch your vision for one quick second. We're actually coming to a close here, but I want to make sure that I stretch your vision to see greater beyond what you're seeing right now. Okay. What would having access to an additional 50K, 100K, 150K, or more of business funding do for your business? Um, so many people are under the impression, and this is, trust me, guys, it's a myth. There's no fact behind it. Many people are under the impression that what can I do with $50,000 for my business? You can do so. Looking back now in retrospect, I can tell you right now, you can do so much to change the trajectory of your business in a positive way with $50,000. I can tell you right now. Um, when people ask me, well, what would you do with the money, Terrence? I'm a big proponent of the M&M principle. You say, what is M&M? I'm not talking about the candy, right? I'm not talking about M&M the candy. I'm talking about M&M marketing. Okay. What else am I talking about with M&M, right? What is M&M? Marketing, and what is the other M, guys? I want you to be thinking about this, right? M&M, right? I'm going to come back to, because I want you guys to think about what that M&M stands for. Okay. Hire a mentor to scale operations. Hmm. Did I give it up right there? I did. Marketing and mentorship. Okay. Marketing and mentorship, M&M. Those are the two biggest keys really to change the trajectory of your business. You need someone that can take you to where you have not gone. And it's a success that you strive to be at. Or should I say, a level of success that you strive to be at? So, mentorship, being able to stand on the shoulders of a person who's already gone where you're trying to go. And number two, mentorship. I mean, sorry, marketing, right? Because there are many people who have a great product. You may have a great service, but you're also the best kept secret. Okay. You don't want to be the best kept secret. You want to make sure that people know who you are. You want to know that you want people to know that you have the best product. You want people to know that you have the best service, right? So again, marketing and mentorship are the two biggest areas that I would say you need to put your money into first to make sure that you get yourself in a position to be successful. So marketing, so there it is. Those are the first two on here. Hire a mentor to scale operations, and marketing strategy to increase lead flow. Okay. Also, the others are hiring staff to buy back your time. One of the resources you will never get back is your time. So make sure that you're building your staff to be able to take you out of the equation, so that way you can buy back your time and spend time with loved ones, spend time with the people that you care about most, right? Because that at the end of the day is all that matters. Expand geographically for brand awareness, right? So maybe you are just more known into your city or your county. Maybe you need to expand statewide. You need to expand region wise. You need to expand nationally, right? So expanding yourself will increase the brand awareness, which, when that happens, people start to know who you are. And then obviously that builds more revenue, for your business. And last but certainly not least, definitely, this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just things that I thought about that you could really take advantage of with garnering business capital. And that's bookkeeping and accounting services for control. Every business owner I have talked to, including myself for a bit, when tax season comes around, it is a nightmare for them because they have not put their finances in order. They've just ran a business. And when you run a business, you're wearing 50,000 hats. It's hard to put everything together and to focus on 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 the logistics of your business, right? The finances of your business, right? And so when tax season comes along, that's really sometimes for a lot of business owners the first time they actually start really taking into account, their profit and their loss, their balance sheet, really where they stand financially in their business. But again, when you have business capital, you can hire somebody to do those things and they can do it year round, which is great. So when tax season comes, you're not a hot mess, right? You're not pulling out your hair trying to figure out, how do I put everything together, right? You just hire somebody to do it, right? So again, capital does wonders for your business. And so you want to make sure that you're always in a position to access long-term capital. Really, that's what Expandemonium, that's what we are really all about. This is a coaching program. That's what this is about. We are a coaching program. I want to position business owners to access capital anytime they need to, whether it be short-term capital or long-term capital. But you cannot do that if the pieces of the puzzle are not together. And that's why this webinar is taking place, because I want to be the catalyst to your capital. Okay, not the capital itself, the catalyst to your capital. That's what I pride myself in. I pride myself in the process versus the capital I pride myself in the process versus the profit. Okay. And that is really what I have here. That's what makes us, I think, different. What makes Expandemonium different? Process over profit. The fastest way to get the most funding is slow and methodical. I know some people hate hearing that, but here is the truth, guys. Many people have pierced themselves with financial ruin, which is why the number one reason for business failure is a lack of capital, cash flow, and funding. It's many times most people are just underprepared. They're not underfunded, they're underprepared, right? So, process over profit. I want to spend time taking you through the process so that you can profit, not me, so that you can profit as much as possible for your business. That is really what I take pride in, is the process. Okay. I love training. I love coaching. I love educating. It is what gives me purpose. That is who I'm made for. I mean, I coached football for 14 plus years. I played football. In fact, football paid for my college education. I played football from a junior All-American youth program all the way up until college, guys. And then after that, I coached because I love seeing the development process. I love seeing kids who may have come in and maybe they were timid, maybe they just didn't, they were tripping over their two left feet, maybe they were just all over the place, right? And then to see them blossom and become an actual football player and not somebody who's just learning the game. There's an excitement, there's an exhilaration that takes place by seeing that. And I notice I have that same passion, I have that same excitement when I see a business owner who maybe have gotten denied for several business products, and they don't really know how to structure things properly in their business to capitalize on the many products out there, right? Where they can build a lot of capital for their business. And I love taking business owners through this process where I can see them flourish, where I can see them grow, where I can see them start to get approvals, and I can see them getting the funding that they need and seeing the look on their face of just, wow, this is really happening. There's nothing like that for me. So here's what makes us different: process over profit. That's what is important to me. Empowerment over entitlement. We value done with you services versus done for you services. Now, are there certain products that we have that it's going to take more of us doing it for you versus you doing it with us? Absolutely. But our bread and butter is being able to do it with you, because that service model is something that we notice that you can take with you for life, right? It goes back to the adage of it's better to teach a man how to fish or a woman how to fish versus giving them a fish, right? So when I do it with you and show you how it's done, and my team shows you how it's done, it's going to be easier for you to DIY, which is to do it yourself, which means you don't need anybody. You don't have to pay anybody to go learn these things. You learned it now yourself, and now you can go out and do it on your own. That's where the power comes from, guys. That's where the empowerment comes from. Again, that excites me to be able to see that that can take place for you. And last but certainly not least, relationship over ROI. That's huge for us. ROI stands for return on investment, right? So many business consultants, and not even just business consultants, just business individuals, period. We track and we do. It's important for us to learn. It's important for us to know as business owners what is the return on our investment, right? Because we also don't want to waste our time, right? We have families to feed. We have desires that we want to see fulfilled in our lives, right? The problem is when you put that as the priority, then you miss out on the relationship. because the relationship, it will bend towards the return on investment. It will reward the return on investment. And that's what I have found out in my own personal life is that when I focus on the relationship, the ROI will come. Okay. I say this, who you like and trust is who you will listen to. And by the way, do business with. Most people just say who you like and trust, you'll do business with. I like to take it a step further. Who you like and trust is who you will listen to and do business with. Because you can do business with me and not listen to me. I've had that experience before, and it's a miserable experience, not just for me, but for you as well, right? So it's not about just doing business with me, it's about listening as well. Because when you listen, oh man, you will start to see all these doors open for you that once were not open for you. That's the beauty about when you listen. When you just do business with somebody, that means that, yeah, you're doing mechanical things, you're doing logistical things. You may not even be doing them right, right? But you're just doing them because you're told to do them. And a lot of times people don't really ascertain that information that they need for the future to do it themselves because they just did what they were told. And we don't want to just do we don't want you to just do what you're told. We want to make sure that you actually understand what you're learning. So that's why I say listen to, not just do business with. And that is what we pride ourselves on. So what do you get? Let's talk about what you get. If you were to do business with Expandemonium, what do you get? You get credit preparation, which is credit worthiness, the beginning of your revival. And I say that it's kind of very strong words to use, right? But it really is the truth. Credit worthiness, the beginning of that is your revival, guys. That is really where the process starts. And that's really where you will get a lot of great help moving forward on really how to position yourself to access better products because you are showing that you are a person who is credit worthy. Okay. You'll also get business built for funding success, a complete business setup or strategic restructuring. Because I noticed that many people who come to me, they already have a business set up, right? But the problem is over 80% of them have the wrong structure in their business. That's what I noticed, right? So you get complete business setup or strategic restructuring aligned with lender standards, right? And again, it's about restructuring to align with lender standards, as we talked about earlier in this presentation. You'll also get powerful business credit build out. Okay. You'll get a powerful business credit build out. We'll establish a strong foundation with 15 plus business trade lines designed to build credibility. That is huge, right? Because here's the thing, you can't even get a loan, should I say, or should I say you can't even get a car in your business's name unless you have at least 14 trade lines. So again, we want to make sure that you have 15 plus trade lines, okay? Which again, as I told you, it is built out over time. It is a commitment that you need to make to build it out just like you're doing with your personal credit or you did with your personal credit, okay? But we will help you build that out thoroughly. Okay, it's done with you. Also, you get weekly insider training sessions. It will be from your very own. I will be training every single week, exclusive group trainings packed with advanced funding tips, strategies, and hidden opportunities that, again, that are second to none, guys. Again, who's going to offer weekly training for you with all of the things you're going to be learning? You'll understand what I mean. It's going to be a plethora of information that you will again you will thoroughly enjoy. Okay. Also, customer support that shows up. We have exceptional customer service and dedicated support Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, excluding holidays, though. But you will have any type of any question that you have, any type of concern that you have, any type of guidance that you need, advice you need, that will be distributed to you with just a phone call, period, or an email, either one, and you'll be able to get the help that you need within a 24-hour period. A lot of times they call within an hour of getting your email or your call, and they'll make sure to take care of whatever issue that you're having. Also, commitment to long-term success. This is another huge one here. You get 6 to 12 months of a partnership with us, focused on helping you grow and win. We are devoted to your success if you haven't figured that out already. The value that you are getting with this process and with this program is unparalleled. We are, again, committed to our partnership with you for you to see you grow and to see you win. Okay. Premium access to Lindavo. It is the cornerstone of what we are here for right now, right? You will be able to gain access to one of the industry's most advanced capital platforms at no extra cost whatsoever. Okay, that will be obviously afforded to you, and you'll know exactly when you are ready to take that road to be funded for your business. So, again, you have the weekly strategies that you will see face to face with me. You'll also know exactly where you are in the process at all times with our customer success managers, also with your access to Lendavo and being able to track to see exactly where you are and when you are going to be ready to be able to get the capital that you need for your business. You're also going to have a special bonus included as well with this. And I didn't go over it here in this presentation, but I want you to have the opportunity to go over it and see it online. And how do you do that? I want you to be able to go to my website. Okay. Expandemonium.vip. Okay. Expandemonium.vip. And many of you know what my website is. You know my website. So I want you to go on the website and I talk to you about full transparency. And this is what I love when I say full transparency. I don't hide my cost. I don't hide prices. I don't hide anything. Everything is in plain view. It is in plain sight. People say, well, how do you do that? Or why do you do that? And how you're successful doing that? It's because all this value comes at an unbelievable cost. I already know that I am undercutting the industry with the products that you're going to be getting, the service that you'll be getting, the customer support that you'll be getting. You will never, ever, ever, ever find that price anywhere. And on top of that, it is it is something that for you, it's amazing how this works. It makes me scratch my head sometimes, but there is a quote that I have really coined. When I say coined, meaning I didn't create it, but coined meaning that I hold it dear to me, and I say it to a lot of people out there in the public. If I'm speaking in person somewhere, or I'm on a platform online, and I'm going to say it here too. So many people are worried about the cost that they don't understand. Should I say, so many people are worried about the price without considering the cost. There you go. So many people are so worried about the price that they don't consider the cost. And I can tell you what I mean by that. The cost that it takes you to do all the things that you're going to get in this program and this process will cost you far more if you were to try to do it yourself. I can tell you that right now, hands down. It will cost you far more to do it yourself. And on top of that, it will take you a lot longer to do it. So, again, most people are worried about the price when they don't understand the cost. The cost is dealt in time and it's dealt in more money. And if you want to see what I mean by that, you can see that firsthand at my website. My name is Terrence Michael Spencer, and I say Terrence Michael Spencer, that's my full name. I have my junior as well, but his middle name is different than mine. So I'm Terrence Michael Spencer, just to make sure that we have a distinction between the two of us. Okay. I'm the founder and president of Expandemonium LLC, which I am proud to say. And as you can see to that picture to my left, or should I say to the left of the of my description, you'll see my beautiful and amazing Egyptian queen. That is my wife, Heba Spencer, as well. And we were actually taking a helicopter ride just recently. That was back in March, and it was for her birthday. And we took a helicopter ride around Las Vegas, and that's one of our favorite places to go. We love Vegas, and we just had an amazing time, an amazing trip, and we saw Vegas in a completely different light. It's amazing when you see Vegas that close from the top down. It is an amazing experience. So I would say if anybody wants to If anybody's thinking about taking a trip, or what trip should they take, or what vacation should they take, or what should they do for some type of special occasion, I would definitely implore you to take the elevator. Should I say elevator? I would tell you to take the helicopter ride in Vegas. It is definitely one that you will never forget. So definitely try that. Again, I would love for you to do this. Please schedule a free consultation by scanning the QR code below. And you'll also, on top of that, see, I'm just adding value everywhere. Everywhere that I can, I'm going to add value to your journey by scheduling a free consultation. And that consultation, guess what, will be with your very own. It will be with me. So when you schedule your free consultation, and you scan that QR code to do so, you will receive a free ebook. And what is that free ebook? The title of it is The Definitive Guide to Building Your Business Credit. You will also be able to build your business credit by obviously scanning that QR code and scanning that code for scheduling a free consultation. So, guys, without any further ado, I won't hold you up any longer. I do want to tell you thank you so much for being on today. I look forward to serving each and every one of you and bringing value to your business journey. I hope that when you schedule your free consultation, that I am able to again serve you to the capacity that you see here today. And get your free ebook, guys, The Definitive Guide to Building Your Business Credit. Get that ebook. You're going to need it. Trust me. And again, I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you. You guys take care and have an amazing day. Bye bye for now.